Hello everyone, this is Matt Menifee, and this is my week 3 update. And what I chose to focus on this week is sentiment analysis of the news headlines for the 4 given stocks that I've chosen. So let's go ahead and jump in. So this week's focus again is just on the sentiment analysis of the headlines that I had obtained from Kaggle. And for the initial sentiment analysis, I used the natural language processing library with Vader. And this was used to analyze that Kaggle data set that had thousands of news articles pertaining to each of the 4 stocks. And this shows the result of the analysis at the end, and I decided to just follow one other tutorial that I found on Towards Data Science at the end here for a secondary analysis. So just in the initial analysis, I did decide to look at just a couple of features of the data, and I looked at the distribution of publishers here for each of the different stocks. So we have Cisco Systems, Duke Energy is right here, JP Morgan Chase, and Southwest Airlines. Using just a little bit of code here, I was able to pull up these, create these graphs, and take a look at the shape of the data, which shows a very similar story. Additionally, to make the analysis line up properly, or to join the data for the Vader analysis later, I did have to do a little bit of messing around with the actual news articles. And here's some of my code here where I reset the index because they were coming from a much larger index that we can see here from the initial Kaggle data set. So I had to reset each of the indexes for the for each different news article set. And then I just dropped the extra stuff here that wouldn't really help with the analysis. So the URL, the index field that was created by creating a new index, and then the unnamed column, which just seemed to be part of the article count. And then this right here is, again, just a general shape of the data set from previous code. So I did choose to use the Vader approach for the sentiment analysis in this particular case, and Vader is a lexicon approach to sentiment analysis. So there are already there's already a dictionary of words in the lexicon, and they all have negative and positive scores associated with them. And this particular analysis ranges from -1 to 1. So the more negative, or closer to -1, the more negative the sentiment. Closer to 0 is neutral. And then as you get closer to 1, it's more and more positive. So this method that I used, it does have each article listed in either a negative column with its score associated with it, a neutral column, or a positive column, and then it combines all of them into a compounded column for the final result of the article. So this is what I originally found running the analysis on each data set for each of the different stocks. And so we've got Cisco Systems, Duke Energy, Love, and JP Morgan Chase. And Love is Southwest Airlines. And this particular case looks like the Cisco Systems was very neutral. So we have a result of 0.1. Duke Energy was 0.15. Southwest Airlines is 0.07, and JP Morgan Chase came out as 0.1. So this was not quite what I had expected, seeing that all of them pretty much came out neutral for the analysis. So I did try a secondary analysis in the next section here. So I did try using a different source and a smaller range of articles for the secondary analysis. This secondary analysis came from one particular source, finviz.com, which is a stock screener where you can grab news articles ranging from way far back, or you can just pick the most recent ones. In this particular case, I decided to choose the first 10 most recent articles that would come into the analysis for each ticker, and then again ran the same analysis with the range of -1 to 1, and using the Vader lexicon method. So we see here that really, again, not much of a difference. So Duke here, we had a result of 0.30, so it's getting a little bit more positive, but really not quite what I expected. Still close to neutral, or closer to neutral than it is to positive or negative. Same with Cisco Systems, Southwest Airlines, and JP Morgan Chase as well. So we do see here that this method seems to be lacking, maybe, and it could be that it's because it's not picking up on the jargon or the nomenclature, specific phrases or sarcasm in any of the headlines if the authors are using it. So there could be just some things using this particular method that aren't really counted, that don't really help in the sentiment analysis. So I may try one other method of creating my own lexicon to try to see if that might help. I'm not sure that it will, but it might be another step to move this forward, or to see if I can get another different result, or I might try just a different lexicon to do this analysis, to see if there's another better lexicon for the financial markets. So that is this week's update, and thank you all for watching, and I hope everyone's projects are going well.